So welcome to the Inside Voice. I'm Shannon Murphy, and I'm here with Jeff Dyer today, our CEO, and I'm going to ask him some questions. He doesn't know what I'm going to ask him, and I'm actually really excited to know what he has to say about everything. So, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So I saw on social media that you had some posts about International Women's Day, and we're kind of on the heels of that right now.
Mhm.
And I'd like to know if you can explain a little bit about that for our viewers who don't have you on social media,
Sure.
and kind of what it means to you.
Yeah, well, I think at the core of it, I'm not super keen on big days, but I'm a dad. So I have a 15, almost 16-year-old daughter. I'm a white dude in power. And so I look at a moment like International Women's Day as I actually have an obligation and a responsibility to extend power and to make it okay and equitable for other people. And in this case, it would be women. Women are across the world are considered less than, not given the same opportunities. Here in Canada, they're not paid the same. They're not given the same opportunities to lead. Wildly disproportionate amount of CEOs and board people in the world who are more men than women. And so as a person in power and authority, I feel like I have an opportunity to offer equity and balance and to speak up if I can and also not say much because though I'm a feminist, I'm a male. And so I'm always taken as a bit of with a bit of a grain of salt. So on that day, I felt like I came to work, and here we are in the Boys and Girls Club, where well over half of our staff are women or identify as women. We have our entire leadership team, 75% are women. Our board is half women. Our chair and future chair are both women. And so I think we're actually an organization that puts its money where its mouth is, in spite of the fact that we have a 50-50 name in a non-binary world.
You mentioned in that about our current chair and future chair.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about that to me, because that's a little bit new.
Yeah, so our board chair, who's been the board chair for about 10 years, her name is Sean, and she's been fantastic. And she signaled that it's her time to step down, and so she'll probably move into a past chair role. Our board votes on their chair, and in this case, they actually went through a 3-month process to allow people to put their names forward to say they actually want to step into the chair, because the chair role is pretty big. They're the person who sets the agenda, who rallies the board members to particular causes and sets their strategic direction. There's actually 2 candidates who put their names forward, and the board had to wrestle with that and think about it for a time, and they voted back in December for Theloma Hofer. So Theloma will take over at this AGM, and she's been on the board for, I would guess, 6 or 7 years. She's a chartered accountant, and she's super smart. And her and I have already talked about how do we transition so that it's kind of seamless for the organization between Sean and Theloma.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the strategic plan as well.
Yeah, the strategic plan actually calls for a significant governance restructure. So our organization, this probably sounds really lame, and maybe you'll tune out this time, but we've got a foundation who handles all of our assets. So basically every building we own and all of the money that we have in the bank is held at the foundation. And then the rest of the organization, all the stuff that we would experience, is managed by a society board. And that's where our charitable number comes from. And so Theloma will become the chair of that board. But we're trying to kick off a really significant, maybe $30 or $40 million capital campaign. And so we want to see if our foundation can take a much more active role in fundraising. And so we're doing a governance restructure there, and we're also trying to orient the board towards the strategic pillars, just like we as an organization have done. So both looking up, we're going to look at the organizational structure, and looking down. I think this is probably not saying too much, but we built our organizational structure based on streams. And I don't think in the future we'll build it around streams. I don't know what it's going to be built on, but I suspect it'll be more tied to the strategy of the future than the streams of the past.
And I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about what you're most excited for in this strategic plan.
Yeah, I actually think that's pretty easy because I've been asked a couple times, so I've had to think about it. I was really jazzed about a little bit of everything, but it's leadership development, the outstanding leadership component. And I feel like if we take care of leaders, they take care of kids. If we take care of leaders, they'll maximize the resources that we have available to us. I think if we take care of leaders, it doesn't matter what threats or opportunities that we've got in the future, they'll be capable of dealing with the threat or dealing with the opportunity and taking advantage of it. So I think if you took the entire strategy, ripped out just one page and said outstanding leadership is going to be our focus for the next 3 years, we will be fine. Because to me, it always connects to leadership.